I think the iPhone 8 is in trouble. And sorry for talking about it so much, it's just no one watches anything else. So I figure I'd talk about what you guys want to hear. There was recently a leaked schematic of the iPhone 8 where, because Apple was having a hard time building Touch ID into the display, which is a very revolutionary kind of technology, it hasn't been done before, but apparently it takes a long time to make. Instead, they were going to move it to the back of the phone, just like the Galaxy S8, just like the Google Pixel, just like the G6. Oh god, this is a terrible idea. Apple, please do not do that. This goes against everything you've kind of set up with Touch ID. When you introduced it on the 5S, there was a reason you didn't pour all this money into Face Unlock or Iris Unlock. It's because those aren't as seamless. When you pick up an iPhone, you have to press the home button anyway. This brilliant idea that we could have a way of encrypting security into the device so that just by the second you touch that on button, which is usually the home button for people, you have to press it to unlock it. As soon as you press that, it knows who you are, it knows you can view it, and it opens up for you. Even unlocks the Apple Watch. That idea was so genius and thought through, and I've been loving it. I used to have a hard time with Touch ID, but my fingerprints are reestablishing themselves more recently. For those who didn't know, I had psoriasis in the past. My fingerprints were changing a lot. It's been working for me now, and I can confidently say that in the past, when I had the Note 7, an iris scanner is not as seamless. Yes, you look at your phone when you unlock it, but the iris scanner is not that specific. It can't look at you from any wide angle. You have to look at it, make sure your eyes are wide open, and make sure the phone is close to your face. There's a lot of variables you have to get just right. With Touch ID, it's very simple. You just touch it, makes sense. Now, if Apple did decide to move Touch ID to the back, we'd lose a lot of excitement behind it. And secondly, that's not the home button on the back, that is just a fingerprint reader. Meaning we're taking one button that used to do a lot of great things and separating it into two different places. The home button on the iPhone is what brings everything together. We use that for everything. Multitasking, Siri, reachability, going home, Apple Pay, all of that is built into that one button. I'm really, really proud that Apple is trying to move that onto the display, because that would be amazing. I just hope they realize the crucialness of putting it on the front. Moving Touch ID to the back would kind of be like giving up, and a lot of people would have no reason to stay with the iPhone. That's one of its keen opportunities and advantages it has over the S8 right now, because to me, the Galaxy S8 essentially doesn't have Touch ID because no one's going to unlock their phone that way. It's too far to reach away. You're going to be touching the camera too much. Is it too much to ask to want to unlock your phone when it's resting on something? It's on your desk, on your bed. You just want to unlock it, so you just touch the home button and it unlocks. Was that too hard to do now? Ugh, I'm probably nitpicking, but I just don't want to see Apple go the same way all these Android phone companies have been going. That's not the way of the future. Push the limit, Apple. I really hope they're working hard on how to incorporate Touch ID into the display. And yes, it may take a long time to manufacture, but I think actually Apple really prefers quality over quantity, right? Can't they accept that and just understand that the iPhone 8 will be in very low demand, but it's going to be the best smartphone out there? iDrop News recently shared this photo that they brought to life from leaked rumors, saying that we'll have one single-sized bezel around the entire display. A little bit different than what we've been seeing before. It's kind of be like how the Apple Watch looks now, with that single same-size bezel that goes around the entire edge, and that the back of the phone will be made of the same glass that's on the front. So it'll be kind of like this symmetrical looking sandwich with an aluminum bumper. Again, I'm not all team glass, but I think that would look beautiful, and I like this rumor because they still point to the fact that Apple is very likely to introduce Touch ID onto the screen. That leaked image we saw from a Foxconn factory was just worst case scenario. They're not actually going through with that, and boy, do I hope the rumors in the upcoming months prove all of this, because there's a lot of concerns I have about this phone right now. It's a lot of tension I have to deal with. It's all up in my shoulders. I can't really relax. Could use like a massage or something, but I'll just come forward and say it. If the iPhone 8 has Touch ID on the back, I am not interested in buying it. That to me proves that you care more about how thin bezels are around the screen and not much about functionality anymore. I feel like Apple of all people would understand that it's not functional to have the phone's unlock feature moved to the back. Can't Apple's R&D department understand that the back is not for physical input of any kind? That is for your logo and your cameras, and that's it. It should be very clean back there. This other leaked rumor from iDrop News says that they're going to have an invisible front-facing camera, as in they could actually build the camera behind the display so it can see you, but you can't see it. I have no idea how that works, but I would definitely be on board with it. It even kind of showed the earpiece built into the screen. Wouldn't it be kind of great if we had our Verizon logo, the time and the battery life kind of put above the screen? So that's not necessarily necessarily in the display area. That's just kind of the, you know, what do you want to call it? Extra information tab up there. So it's out of our way. And then the display area can stay 16:9. And then we have that function bar at the bottom. It will have the same physical footprint as a regular iPhone 7, but it will still retain a 5.8-inch display, just meaning very minimal bezels in favor of a large screen in a small form factor. This I can get on board with. What I can't get on board with is saying, look at how the display goes edge to edge, but the Touch ID's on the back. So now your home button is kind of in two different places. I'll get the 7S. I will. If the 7S has a front-facing fingerprint reader, I feel like I'm gonna have to go with it, because I cannot heartfully go on board with this hype train about how the only thing tech companies could think of this year, the only innovation is less bezels. What functional use does that have other than looking pretty? That's it. I can't go with that. I don't mind bezels as long as the phone is still functional. A lot of you people like to comment about how they need to change the design of the iPhone because they've been using the same design for a couple of years. If it ain't broke, guys, why must you change something if it's still working? I really like the design of the current iPhone 7. If you want to change this, you're taking the risk of making it worse. So with that glass back, what you're saying is you're gonna have an iPhone 7 with more fingerprints on the back, and now both sides can shatter. I'm just waiting for true innovation, because honestly, Galaxy S8, LG G6 just has told us that functionality doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how cool your phone looks. I think the Apple sheep would be more on board with that, but no. Built-in Touch ID into the screen, that's a true innovation. Invisible front-facing camera, that's a true innovation. Those are benefits we can get of having bezel-free phones. If we make a bezel-free phone but push everything to the back, make things less functional, I don't see the point. I'm not interested. Anyway, let's hope these iPhone 8 rumors continue to sport the Touch ID into the display, and hopefully by May we can actually get a picture of one leaked, not a hand drawing. I don't know why we think that's official or something. Please, Apple, be revolutionary. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.